Hello, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com. Welcome to Psychic Cafe. I'm doing a Your Next Step special today because my half price sale is still on just. Now I think I've got 3-4 readings in that I've got to do. As soon as I've done those after this Psychic Cafe, then the half price sale will be ending. So it's probably going to be about an hour and a half that half price sale is still on. So if you want to book in for one of those, half price Your Next Steps reading, which is your next 5 steps, I'm just going to put a link for that in there. Ending soon, because today I am getting a new tattoo done on my arm. This is the last time you're going to see me clean skin. Well, you'll probably see me clean skin in some more videos because I pre-record my stuff, but not this live show, of course. So tomorrow morning I should be on here with a new tattoo on my arm, which is exciting. Hopefully we'll get it all done today. Hey Saskia. Hi Ashley. New microphone. Should be using this one still. So today's daily read. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a Your Next Step special because of the half price sale ending any moment. Well, it'll be in about an hour and a half, I think. Hey Mara, how are you? Mayra. Are you good? Hey Chris. Yeah, so I only just woke up not long ago for the second time because I fell asleep so early last night. Really, really early. And yeah, the daily read for today, Monday the 18th of May, it's all about setting new goals to get ourselves motivated. Good morning, Stephanie. You're welcome. It sounds different. Maybe it's using the MacBook instead of this. Maybe it's using both of them. It should be using this. Did it get louder then? Yeah, I can see both, in fact. I can see both microphones. I can see, but I don't know which one it's using. What's this? It's using this. According to the settings. But yeah, I just listened to the playback of yesterday's, and it did sound different to me too. It sounds like it's using the MacBook microphone, which is still a good microphone. It's not as good as this one though. This is a very good quality microphone. Not the best with this. It's hard and there's a wall and everything's hard around here. I'm probably better putting some material, a sarong or something over everything, and it'll make the sound a bit better. I should do that. Good idea. Right, so let's go deeper into the daily read. It's about making plans, setting new goals for the week, getting determined on things. Sounds like it's using both. There you go, you got stereo. Yeah, I can see the mixer for both. Yeah, mixer for both. I don't know why it's using both on. Maybe I need to change that. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to click on anything there. Right, let's go deeper into the daily read. There was a bit of relationship stuff as well to do today. Simplicity and blame. Yeah. Stepping away from this blame game. Victimhood energy is never very good for us at all. And we can simply step away from that, never looking for anyone to blame, not even ourselves, because that can be really destructive too. Getting away from the blame game. It's our egos that always want an excuse or a reason behind something. So we want to blame. It's like, this virus. Who's to blame for that? Nobody. It's a natural occurring thing in the animal kingdom. Blame nature. But everyone wants to blame someone, the governments or something. It's our egos doing that. Our egos want to blame somebody to make it feel better, or blame ourselves, which, as I said, is even worse. And so we can just stop that. We can just stop listening to our ego like that. Stop pandering to our ego. Try and step away from that blame game. Of course, we do it in our personal lives especially. we don't want to be to blame for it. We think we're victims of our circumstances, but we can only make choices for ourselves when we're taking responsibility for our lives and realising no one else is to blame for it. We can make choices for ourselves. Oh, look at this. We've got new beginnings and passion today. Nice. What can I say about that? New beginnings. I feel that that's what these setting goals for this week is about as well. New beginnings, setting new things off, but passionate new beginnings. So this could be relationships. And it could also be passionate stuff you're working on too. New jobs, things like that. But lots of fresh starts. I'm feeling like this is this week's energy. This week's energy rather than today's energy. Could be today's energy for you. The patience card is out. We're also going to have to use patience today, especially around people, those that are close to us. This touch card, it's like touching everyone's lives, people that touch your lives. Hey Miller, hey Claire, how are you? People that touch your life, people whose life we touch, so it's those people that we're intimate with, we have intimate relationships with. We're going to have patience with them. So what's going on with people today? We're going to have patience with that. Maybe we're waiting on other people to play their part in something that we've arranged or something like that. But yeah, people could be a bit, not difficult today, just having to wait. We're just having to wait. I've got the wait card out as well in my personal cards. I've got accept what is and wait. Okay. I've sort of got the relax card out, and that's what I'm going to be doing today, relaxing. Hey Joshua. Relaxing while I get the tattoo, so it's not going to be that relaxing. It's going to be quite painful. Also, we've got to let go of our sabotages. Like I said, we've got to stop listening to that ego. Stop pandering to the ego. Stop guys wanting to try and find someone to blame for what we're going through and things like that. Surrender it up. Get in tune with our higher selves instead. And one way of doing that is through meditation. Because meditation, it's just that opportunity to be aware and listen to the ego mind, what our subconscious mind is doing. Where it wants to go off to all the time. It goes into these repeat stories. Often it's the blame game. And it's a sabotage because we're not in our power when we do that. It's taking a victimhood role instead of standing in our power and being empowered. And that's when we can do great things in the world and create the great life that we want for ourselves too. You got 2 tattoos, Joshua. New one soon. I'm getting a new one today. I'm getting a full sleeve today on this arm. And up here too. I'm excited. So the tattoo artist knows what I want. Is seeing various pictures, but he draws it on. He's an artist, so he draws it on with pen first of all. And yeah, I really like his work, so I'm excited to see what he does. Today's card is forgiveness. What are your tattoos, Joshua? Forgiveness. Healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear Lord, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. Oh, there we go. So we've got new beginnings today, new passionate beginnings, and it starts with acceptance. How funny. Because look what my cards are today. My personal cards are accept what is and wait. Okay. I know. Yeah. Saska, I know what my cards are about. I know. But it's still so frustrating. I messaged him last night, nothing back. So I just have to wait. Okay, so this is your next steps special. So I'll just explain a little bit because my on the weekends I have a half price reading sale. And it's still on just for the next couple of hours probably. Maybe not, maybe in the next hour and a half. Because I will have to end it before I go for my tattoo. So Your next steps, it's about what's required of you next. So it's maybe internal work or external work, as in taking action on something or something that you need to sort out within yourself. But it's those next five steps. And yeah, I've done a lot of these readings, a lot of them, over this weekend. And it's good because each step follows on from each other. One that I think, was it? I can't remember. One that I did yesterday, it was such a relationship reading. It was great. Somebody is obviously getting into a new relationship because all 5 steps were about it. So yeah, your higher self knows how best to get you to what you want. And so they're really useful readings. So if you want one of those, I'll put another link to it there. But what I'm going to do for you all now is if you put your name up, I'm just going to go into your next step, your first step. Or maybe 2. No, I'll do 2. Let's do 2 for you. Give a bit of a mini taster of it. My current tattoo, this one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 tattoos. This one, I'll show you. It's a dragon with a jasmine flower. And my eldest son designed this. And he has the same tattoo, but he has it on his forearm, on his right forearm, that way around. And Jasmine is my daughter. And Hugo, my youngest son, is a dragon, Chinese sign dragon. And so this is all 3 of my children on my arm. Because he's got his 2 siblings on his arm, and I've got all 3 of them because it's his design. And I've got this one too. So yeah, and the phoenix, because of everything that I've been through, and healed and everything. So I'm excited to get this new one. So, yeah, you got 3 small ones. Cool. Okay, so let's do your next steps. Let's do it. Claire first. Claire, Claire, Claire. Everyone sings the Claire song here. When I go to training, you'll sing my name. Cool tattoo. Which one? Both of them. I really love them. And my other ones, I don't like them that much. I've got one on my foot. Do you want to see? It's 2-way. I don't like it. I got that done in Australia a long time ago, but yeah, I'm going to have it changed into a dragonfly. And the other one, the first one that I had done on my back, it's a very small one as well. But yeah, I go for the more artistic tattoos now. So, Chris, I spent my entire day Sunday redesigning and doing my resume. So I'm ready for my next couple of steps. Oh, cool. So, Claire, what's your first step? Claire. Your first step is to quieten yourself down. This means that you've been trying to push ahead with things that you're not really aligned with, you're not so brilliant at. Instead of taking a step back, thinking about what you really want and what you're really brilliant at, and then going for that. This is saying just take a moment out of your life. It's like the energies of today, if you watch today's daily reading. Take a moment out of your life to decide what you're here for, what you're really brilliant at, and what to do. You know, this is what the year 2020 is all about. It's getting us on track with what we're here to do. And it's your brilliance, you know. It is your brilliance. So take time out to get clear on that. It's almost a message saying, why are you wasting your time on doing whatever, doing things that aren't really great, when you could be doing things that you're brilliant at? Oh. Claire, your second step is romance. Face the situation. Yeah, there's things to face. This is about taking off the rose-tinted spectacles and about getting real. This is a message for like someone that just keeps on seeing potential in people instead of seeing who they really are. Take people as they are. believe people when they show you who they are. We tend not to do that because the romance card is like, when we get romantic, that's when we get a bit stupid. When we get not like that, when we're not facing it, when we're, just in romantic thoughts in our heads, dreaming of a possible future and things like that. And this is saying, bring that romance down to earth and get real about it. Face the situation. Face what someone's showing you, maybe, Claire. Those are your 2 steps. So if anyone wants a full one, I'll just pop that link up again. Well, I've not gone on the live. It's obviously working because you're all on. Let me go on this one. Just sleepy today still. And then I can click like on it. There we go. Love my Phoenix tattoo. You're welcome, Claire. Thanks, Millie. Right, who's up next? That was Claire. So yeah, your next steps reading, it'll be 5 steps. It's 3 pages long, goes into your next 5 steps. And that'll be still half price for the next hour and a half. Saska's up next. And half price is 60 Australian dollars. I know some people are getting confused with that because of conversions, currency conversions. 60 Australian dollars now is about 35 to 40 American dollars. So people are getting confused thinking it's 60 American dollars, but it's not. It's Australian dollars. It has an A in front of it. This is why I used to have my website in US dollars. People get confused with Australian dollars for some reason. Anyway, Saska. Okay, Saska, what's your first step? Oh, interesting. Your first step. Yeah, first steps tend to be the basics, getting your vibration sorted out, ready for the other steps. You know how there's certain things in your foundation, in your energetic foundation, to get sorted out before you take action. Otherwise, the action that you take isn't going to get very far. So for Saska, for you, you've got to open yourself up to success. So this is saying, look at maybe your judgments about successful people. Maybe people that have got too successful. Do you have that judgment? Do you have a limit to success? Beyond that, you think people are too successful? Or what else could it be? I mean, some people just judge success completely, or think that people must have ripped someone off to be successful, that kind of thing. Anyway, whatever, you've got some kind of block to success, or maybe you just haven't raised your expectation of your own success up. Because your higher self wants you to get open to way more success than you're currently open to before you take any other steps. Let's see what your step 2 is. No worries. Be supportive. Yeah, you always get this card. This is your card, Saska. Be supportive. It's because you've got that going on. You've got that skill. That's your brilliance, like in Claire's. It's your brilliance. And here's you worrying about it, worrying about not being supportive enough, or worrying about like what more can you do. You want to offer more than that. You're not valuing just that. Like just that is great. That's what coaches do, That's what coaches do. They're just that support, and that's enough. You don't need to be able to sing and dance and bake them a cake and send it to them. You can just be a coach, and it's good. So yeah, you need to stop that worrying that your support isn't enough in just what it is. Yeah, it'd be like me not thinking that my readings are enough, and so I've got to bake people who dance and send them some nail varnish or something. Don't worry about it. Who you are is enough. You're enough, Saska. There you go. Joshua's up next. Joshua with his 2 tattoos. 2 tattoo Joshua. for a lot more men lately. I used to have predominantly female customers many, many years. And now, I don't know, there was a lot this weekend. A lot of men this weekend. Joshua, what's under that? This is your step one. Who you are. You know, sometimes this kind of thing comes up when people have given themselves a label, or someone else has given you a label. Like, for example, somebody told me many years ago that I'm a healer, and I kind of am, but I'm kind of not too. Like, I can do that, but if I was to really stand firm with that label, I wouldn't be able to be flexible and do what I actually do. Yeah. You've got some kind of a label, Joshua, that you think you are that. And this, what's under that card, it's asking you to look at the origins of that. Who told you that? Why are you standing so firm to that? It's causing you to be inflexible and not open up to other things. And if it is the healer thing, then sometimes healing is just a phase that we go through. It's like being in hospital. Just because you've been in hospital once doesn't mean you're a doctor. But when we are in hospital, we tend to get interested in those things. And it's the same when we're healing ourselves too. When you've got a lot of self-healing to do, you get interested in the healing stuff. But sometimes it's not who you are. So whatever label, you'll know what your label is. I can't guess what it is, Joshua, but you'll know what label you've got, which is kind of restricting you. If you get to the bottom of where that label came from, who gave that label, then release it and just be open. Be open to maybe you're more than that, maybe you're much more than that. Just be open to who you could be. Joshua, you've got to relax about things before you set things off, so not so much pressure. I feel like from this you might have some big goals and you're like, oh, I need this to be huge. This reminds me of energy from an old friend of mine. Met up with him in Australia. He used to be a customer of mine, in fact. Met up with him in Australia, and when I met him, I asked him what he wanted to do. He's a healer. And he said, oh, really, I just want to be. I just want to be. Like, I like to not work and just be. I'm like, really? You want to do nothing? Like, wouldn't you get bored of that? And he's like, no, it'd just be so nice. So he's obviously got a lot of pressure to want to do nothing like that. And I said, well, don't you want to be creative? Like, you know, once you're just being, wouldn't you get those creative urges? Like, what are the creative urges that are inside of you? And he told me, I would really like to write a book, but it would never be as good as Eckhart Tolle's book. So he's refusing to write the book that's inside of him because it's not going to be as good as Eckhart Tolle's book. I'm picking up the same energies here, is that you're not starting things off because you're aiming too high. It's crippling you. It's crippling you. You've got to relax about it, just do things for the fun of it, do things for the sake of it. Joshua, that's crazy because I just got a job at the hospital and I start in 2 weeks. And it doesn't feel like something I would do. Oh wow, how weird. So what are the big goals? It's like you're stopping yourself from doing what you want to do because you're not relaxed about it. You're putting way too much pressure on yourself, like writing a book that's better than Eckhart Tolle's. I mean, who would ever write a book if they had that kind of a hurdle that they presented themselves with? No good can ever come of that. So relax before you start things off, Joshua. Who's next? Stephanie. Detaching from friendships, but detaching from ideas. This is like a group of friends and you end up doing this as each other because you're kind of connected with them. You think that you're like them than you actually are. And so rather than just like heading off in your own direction on your own path, you kind of stick around them on similar paths to them. It's stopping you from going on your path. Oh, is it? Connection's bad. Looks okay to me. Oh, is it jumping? Looks like it's jumping to me. Where am I connected to? Oh, 2. Hang on. Should be better now. I was connected to the one that was way over there again, the one that wasn't working the other day. No. Okay, it should be better now. Should be better now. I was connected to the Wi-Fi that was way over there that was hardly working, instead of connecting to the Wi-Fi that's right here and working well now. So it should be much better now. Thanks for letting me know, Saska. Who's a reading for? Stephanie. Jasmine's one of my favourite scents. Summer night jasmine. Yeah, it's a beautiful smell. So Stephanie, detaching from, not detaching from your friendships. I don't know if it was, the connection was bad so you didn't hear me, so I'll say it again. This isn't about disconnecting from friendships. This is about, you can stay in those friendships, but not being so attached to them that you end up not following your path because it's too different to theirs. It's like staying on a similar path to your friends instead of following your own ideas. So I feel like, it feels like 3 friends kind of thing, and you all stay on similar paths instead of you diverging, going off on your own path. Make sense? Oh no, now I'm disconnected from chat. That's not good. At least I can still see chat on my phone anyway. Second step, Stephanie, is, oh, you got the brilliant card as well. Talk to somebody. If you're unsure, Stephanie, of what your skills and your talents are, what your brilliance is, your zone of genius, ask your friends. They know. And it's the simple stuff. It's the simple stuff. Froze for a second, but okay now. Yeah, it froze when I switched over the Wi-Fi. Okay, we're good now. But I haven't got the live chat on my computer anymore, so that's not good. So yeah, Stephanie, ask your friends what you're great at, what your brilliance is. Hey Joao, how are you? Right, who's up next? Millie's up next. Miller, your first step is releasing guilt and rest. Releasing guilt for rest. Allowing yourself to sit down, allowing yourself to stop. It's really important that we allow ourselves to rest. Number one, because it's a self-love thing. It actually gets us aligned with our higher self and with the universe when we allow ourselves to rest, because the universe wants us to rest, doesn't want us to be working too hard, doesn't expect as much from us as we expect from ourselves. And also because when we're resting, our higher selves can get through to us better. Have you ever had like great ideas pop up when you're on holiday and things like that, when you're resting? And so when you continuously keep yourself busy, it stops you from getting aligned, stops you from being aligned. And so your first step, Miller, is to release the guilt for resting and just allow yourself to rest. Maybe you had a parent that was just busy doing things all the time, didn't let themselves rest, and you put that same judgment on yourself. Second step. So everyone that came late, I'm doing your next steps reading, so I'm just going into 2 steps for you. Because the half price reading sale is about to end in about an hour and a half, maybe in about an hour now. And so if anyone wants to book in for one of those, I'll stick the link up again. I think it will show up. Even though it says I'm not connected to chat anymore. Yes, it showed up. So, Miller, second step, after you've released the guilt for resting, allowed yourself to rest. Yeah, it's about your past. Stories. Feels like a family thing, this. Stories about your past. You know how families can have a story? It's not necessarily true. It could have been somebody's story. But the whole family tend to stick with that story. It feels like you've been told something that isn't true and you're believing it about yourself. I don't know. Could be like a family saying or something. I know, half job hay. I wasn't born a hay, I got married to a hay. But that was something that came up that I heard, half job hay, half job hay. It's a family story like that, you know, like all the hays just do a half job. Just do half the job. It's something like that, something you've been told isn't true. And you've been kind of sticking with it like it's your story, but it's not your story. It's so interesting. This week has been hard. I got sick. Sometimes you think a lot and do a lot. Yeah, you need to stop that. Yeah, but what is that? Something in your past, something that isn't true, something that you've been told but you're believing about yourself. Could be something a teacher told you, but I'm feeling like it's a family thing. Weird. Who's next? I'm just scrolling back through. Okay, that's all of them. Right, we've got here on my phone. Okay, Joya's up next. And if anyone else wants one, then just pop up a message saying, me please, and I'll do that for you. Joya, your first step. Holding yourself back from fulfillment because you're too concerned about abundance. This is a belief that you need to sacrifice something in order to get abundance. So you're giving something up for money rather than having it all, going for fulfillment and money, which is true abundance. So you're doubting abundance, you're doubting that it can come as a package with everything else that you want. You've got to get rid of that. Joya? You can have it all. That's your first step. What's your second step? And then Chris is up next. Yeah, thinking too much. You're overthinking. Joya, overthinking things. You can't think through life. The less we think, the better, really. I mean, our minds they're useful. It's useful to be able to think through things. But when we overthink, it means that we're running off ego when we try and think through life instead of feeling and intuitively going through life, using our hearts more. So this is a call to use your heart more. Still your mind. Use meditation to still your mind. Because our ego minds tell us all kinds of stuff, like I was saying before, the blame game and things like that. Our egos are always looking for an excuse. They're always looking for a way to protect ourselves. They're always looking for someone to blame. It's always doing all kinds of to get us off the hook in our life. And we've got to still that mind down. You got to still that mind down. And you might think, I'm an overthinker, that's just who I am, but it's not. It's just a pattern. That's like saying, it's like saying you don't eat well. It's just a pattern that you have. It's not who you are. It's just what you've been doing. And it can be undone with good practices, good mind practices like meditation to quiet that mind down. So because of the overthinking, you're having thoughts that are not useful. You need to quieten your mind down. It's your step 2. Chris is up next. What's your step one, Chris? Or you step next, because you're already taking steps. Everyone's all taking steps. Chris, oh, you've got the thinking card as well. Is this thought useful? Let go of the past thoughts. You've been asked to change your mind here. Changing your mind for what was true for you. This is your higher self saying, don't just follow the same patterns, the same line of thinking. You've got this chance to change things now, Chris. So don't fall back into old patterns of thinking. Especially unuseful thinking. So unuseful thinking, it's thinking of lack. It's thinking about what we don't have. Because that just perpetuates what we don't have. That just manifests more of that. Anything that we focus on grows. And you might think that you're focused on more money, but generally when people are focused on money, they're focused on what they don't have. So if you focus on something that isn't in your life, that is focusing on lack. No matter how positive you try and make it, you're focused on lack. So that's an example of a thought that's not useful. It's like a shopping list to the universe for something that you don't want. So past thinking, you're being asked to break free. That's your step one. Break free of past thinking. Be open to possibilities. Open up your mind to possibilities, Chris. Okay. So you just did your resume, Chris. You might want to take a look at that after you've done step one and changed your thinking. You might want to take a look at it again because you've got the I am good enough card and communicate. So the way that you're communicating at the moment, communicating yourself, is coming from a I'm not good enough place. If you raise that up, if you feel good enough, then you're going to communicate yourself very differently. Interesting. So you got to feel good enough before. You might think, oh, well, it's good in a resume to be truthful, but what's truthful? Is it underplaying yourself? Is that really being truthful? It's all perspective, isn't it? So I could look at somebody, and you could look at them, and then we could both be asked to write a resume for that person, and we could come up with completely different resumes. And you actually do that for yourself too. You've probably done that, you know. How many resumes have you had through your life? Very dependent on what frame of mind you're in and how you're feeling about yourself at the time. So yeah, you're going to communicate yourself very differently when you're feeling good enough. So focus on that, feeling good enough before you communicate. Mayra is up next. And then Self 345. Self, what's your name? What's your real name? Or maybe you are called Self 345. Mayra. Chris says, makes sense. Stuck. I can't say that. It sounds boastful. What's that about, Chris? What's the deal with being boastful? I've got this friend. I hope he's coming back to the island soon. He's got this thing about being arrogant. He doesn't want to appear arrogant. He hates people that are arrogant. He's actually the most arrogant person that I know. I hardly know any arrogant people at all. And it's so weird that he has a thing about it, but then that's what he is. It's not even that arrogant. It's bizarre. It's just this bizarre attitude that he's got. People get stuck on that kind of thing, you know, on that it's not okay to boast, or it's confidence is arrogance, and that's not okay. It's not okay to be confident in yourself. Makes no sense. I know people that don't feel confident, they can take confidence as arrogance. Arrogance is very different. Like, it's very rare to see arrogance in anybody. I certainly don't see it. Hey Barbara, how are you? Afraid of bragging and thinking too highly. Chris, So you're downplaying yourself to be, humble, because they think, they're not going to pick that up in their resume. They're not going to go, oh, look, Chris is really nice. She's really humble and downplaying herself. They're not. They're just going to take you at face value. They're going to believe you. They're going to believe what you've written. Interesting. Okay, Mayra. Number 1, Mayra, you've got... taking time alone, real time alone. What I mean by that is just like not filling your time up with things. You know, when we try and avoid the spaces and we try and avoid time alone, so we're on the phone or we're on Facebook and we're doing something, we're in the kitchen doing something, we won't face that emptiness, that void. But you're being asked to face that void in this moment, like allow yourself to stop, to have some time alone. It's asking you to give yourself some head space, some energy space for new ideas to come in. Mary, are you avoiding meditation? I know we all do. Like it's a human trait, but maybe more so at the moment. This feels very resistancy. Resisting time alone. You don't like arrogant people, Saskia? Who's arrogant? What's arrogance to you, Saskia? Okay, number 2. Step 2, Mayra. So this is why your higher self wants you to spend that time alone. There's that void to be open to that space, because there's creativity that wants to flow through you, but you've got to detach from that, what you've been feeling. This is like a writer's block or an artist's block, that you're blocking yourself by filling your time up with people, that kind of thing. And so you've got to do that detachment, that step 1 detachment, for your creativity to come through. It's interesting. Because my readings are a lot better now. Like my private readings have always been good, but my readings, like say video readings and stuff, they're much better now than they were before, because I don't do it for anything anymore. Like when I had an agenda behind it, when I wanted something from it, they weren't that good, these general readings that I did. And I'm picking up similar kind of energy. It's like when you're being artistic for a reason, when you're being creative for a reason, you haven't got that same detachment. It's not as pure. It's not true creativity. Your higher self really wants you to kind of hit the reset button and be in a clear space so that you can be creative again. Interesting. Didn't meditate yesterday, but you did today. Oh, good. Awesome. Hitting your limits on every level, Barbara. Okay, who's up next? Deepta. Did I miss somebody? No. Deepta's next. Deepta, lovers and strength and courage. So your first step is owning your strength in relationships. So you're taking the passenger seat in relationships, pretending that you're not as strong as you are, that kind of thing. Letting them be the strong one, instead of being yourself in it. That's not going to get you a partner that's really loving you for yourself if you're not being yourself. And so this is like you've got a rule for yourself that in a relationship that you can't be yourself. But you're not going to get a relationship that's right for you unless you are yourself. So it's not a very good rule. So don't take the passenger seat in a relationship. Be your true self, your true strong self. When it comes to lovers, that's your step 1. So it's about a belief that you've got, a belief that you need to be someone that you're not in order to get a relationship. Look at this. You got the Lover's card again. Step 2. Yeah, you've not been in good patterns in relationships. Step away. Don't do the same thing over and over again, Deepta. You're in a pattern. It's not good for you. If you're in that pattern at the moment with somebody, it's just gonna end exactly the same as it has done before. So move away, take a step away, have some time by yourself to get really clear on who you really are. Then live your life, being who you are, enjoying your life, and then when you're really happy, someone will come in and you'll be yourself with them. Love one for you. Barbara? You're welcome, Joanne and Mayra. Hi Mimi, how are you? You're late. So important to know that your partner accepts you and loves you the way you really are. Yeah, so important. We can't have that by not being ourselves, can we? I know, it always makes me laugh, these, do you see it on Facebook? These adverts that say how to keep a man. Something like that, and it's like, why? You just be yourself. And if it's the right man, you'll keep him. Barbara. Your first step, Barbara, is going within, so meditation, Barbara, to know what you know. Now this is remembering things that you always knew about yourself. What have you always known about yourself, Barbara? This is the kind of thing, this is like, I always knew that I was going to have 3 children, or I always knew that I was going to be really successful later on in life, or I always knew that I'd end up with somebody, something like that, something that you always knew about yourself. Being asked to go within, tap back into that again, your inner knowing, what you know about your life. Those deep inner knowings, those things that we just know, and we have done for a long time about our lives. They're always true. Those are the things that have come from our higher selves. That's why it's so firm in ourselves. That's why we know it. That's the stuff that manifests because we know it. So go within and reach for that inner knowing. Remember it. Remember it. Deepta says, I'm single currently, but makes sense. Sounds like I need to stay here a while longer. Yeah, it does to me too. Barbara. Step 2. Letting go of resistance. You've got what you resist persists and cleanse. So yeah, they're both the same card really, about releasing resistance, letting things go. This is like sabotages, way that you're holding yourself back, the way that you're holding yourself in holding patterns. That kind of thing, how airplanes do holding patterns because they can't land yet. We do that to ourselves sometimes. We're in holding patterns. We're not moving forward with our lives into new experiences and new things. We just keep ourselves in comfort zone holding patterns, waiting to land. You didn't think past a husband and children. Well, your higher self seems to think differently. Go into meditation with that in mind to remember what you always knew about yourself, Barbara. Yeah, there's stuff to let go of. You're in a holding pattern. Feel like there's much more to your life ahead of you than you're realizing. Mimi, do you want one? I can't see things on... I can't see the chat. Can't see the chat. Super windy all day today. Big Rottweiler, oh my god. An aggressive one. So yeah, there's about, oops, what am I doing? There's about an hour left of the half price sale. I'll just put a link for it up again. If anyone wants to book in for a full reading, they're $60 Australian instead of 120. Who else would like a reading? Mimi. then I'm done. Because I've got some readings to do, and then I'm going for my tattoo. I'm getting a tattoo, Mimi, today. Mimi, you've got to allow abundance much, much more. I think I've given you this message before. It feels like I've given you this message before. There's much more to come in your life, much more abundance, much more success. This is like a belief that you're winding things up rather than you're just setting off. You've got to allow a lot more. A lot more, Mimi. A lot more abundance, much more. Set your sights higher. Bigger goals, that kind of thing. Move toward it. Set yourself a challenge to move towards something. Cool. Be supportive. I am appreciated. Now this is very specific, your step 2. This is about being around people that appreciate your support and the way that you give it, rather than being the rebel and trying to support those that don't want the support in the way that you give it. So there's something about your energy that likes to be the rebel, and you like to try and support people that don't want your support, that don't want it in the way that you give it. Does that make sense to you, Mimi? And so put yourself where you're appreciated instead. If this is saying like lose the fight in you that wants to make you do that, that wants you want to put yourself where you're not appreciated to kind of, I don't know, to prove something maybe? Go where you're appreciated instead and then be supportive to people there. Interesting stuff. Barbara's going to try and book. Awesome. Oh yeah, you tried, didn't you? Yeah, try again. Was yours the card not working, Barbara? It's something that often happens because online sales, especially American credit cards, will have a block on being able to do online purchase in other countries, and so it tends to be that has always come up with our past customers that have not been, that have, got declined. The credit cards have got declined. That's what it usually is. Stephanie says, great readings. They really help the now rather than far off distant stuff. Yeah, I know, Stephanie. And it's, I'm a sucker for the predictive ones too. Sometimes we want to hear it. We want to hear it. We want to know what's going to happen, but they're not helpful. We've got to do the now stuff. You're welcome, Millie. Made you feel better. Oh, that's good. You're welcome, everybody. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy my tattoo as much as I can. It's going to hurt. But I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait for the end result. I'll take photos along the way as well. And it should be fun too, because my friends will all be there today. So it's going to be a nice, relaxing day for me once I've done these readings. So any readings that you order now that will actually be done tomorrow, I'm just going to do the ones that came in overnight before I go and get my tattoo. Woo! Thanks everyone for coming along and for clicking like and all of that stuff. And I should be on I should be on here tomorrow, unless the tattoo takes even longer, it goes into the evening and late. If it does, then I'll be staying at my friend's house and I won't be on in the morning for this. But hopefully I will be. So have an awesome day or night or whatever it is, wherever you are, everybody. And I will see you next time. Bye. Yes, and it. Thank you.